Hey guys, what's up? Andy Fogarty from the AtHomeWelder.com here for KingMetals.com, and today we're gonna go over how to build a down rail from scratch if you had like hardly any tools or any knowledge about what it is you're doing. So this is perfect tutorial for someone who really only has a welder, some material, a tape measure, and some way to cut your material. So that's what we're gonna go over today. All right, so let's just say that you know absolutely nothing about building railings and it's something you really want to get into, but you don't know how to find angles, you don't really know what measurements you need to pull, you don't really know how to cut your material, you don't know anything. All you know is you have access to a welder, you've got some material, and you've got a tape measure, and you want to build something. Well, this tutorial, we're gonna show you exactly how to do it. In fact, I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it the very first time I built a down rail, because even though I know how to weld, I had no idea what needed to be done to build a down rail. So the first part of any project is figuring out what your measurements are. Now, how do you pull measurements on a down rail? How do you measure your stairs? What is the important measurements that you need to know? Well, here's exactly how I do it. Alright, so here are our plans. You see, there's not a whole lot to this. Now let me show you the most important part of measuring steps. This is what you need to do. Draw some steps, however many steps you're going to be measuring, and then you're going to pull your measurements of your steps. You can see what I have here. All I have is how deep the step is and how high the step is. How deep, how high, how deep, how high. That's it. That's the only measurements that you're going to need to measure down rail. Now, of course, I have some other things here, and this is just for me to picture my railing, but this isn't important for you to know. This is stuff I actually drew once I got back to the shop. So our next step with these is to draw them on a table. So we're just taking our measurements and we're drawing our steps out on our working surface. Now this gives us a life-size template to work off of. So we're gonna lay our material out on our template here and build this thing. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be cutting our material. Now, I wanna do this tutorial as if you had like bare minimum tools to work with. So we're talking about just a tape measure, maybe a level, and some way to cut your material. Now, that way to cut your material is what we're gonna get into right now. Let's say you don't have access to a bandsaw. Let's say all you have is an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, or God bless you if this is all you have, a hacksaw. I'm not gonna be using a hacksaw to cut this material. I'm not that brave. I'm gonna be using an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. Now, the first thing that we're gonna cut is going to be our posts, so our two end posts. Now, the reason we're starting with our end posts is because it's really the only pieces in this puzzle right now that we know how we need to cut it. Everything else is gonna have some sort of angle cut into it, and we have no idea how to find out what that angle is yet. So we're gonna cut our posts because we know that those are just some straight cuts. Now, the second reason we're starting with our end posts is because we need those pieces first to be able to lay this out on our life-size template.